Hi, I'm Miss Whitehead, licensed counselor specializing in ecological relationships. And today I just kind of want to take you through looking at the most common types of ecological relationships that I counsel. And I want you to see some of the warning signs of some of the abusive relationships and also show you kind of what the ideal relationships look like. So, the most common type of ecological relationship that I see in nature is competition. And so in competition, it's exactly what it sounds like. Two of the same species are competing over something. It may be food, it may be water, it may be shelter. More often than not, they're competing for a mate. And so here, my most common type of client, you have these two rams. They're competing for a female, and so they're going to fight it out, and whoever is the strongest will win. Now, in the competition, it's important for you to know if you're the weaker of these species, you need to just move on. Okay, you just need to move on. You need to either find a weaker species to compete with so that you can win and, win the girl. Otherwise, you're going to risk being taken out. Okay, you're going to risk dying. So, one of my clients that came to me, and I could see it wasn't obvious at first because it wasn't like two animals, it was two plants, but this was also a competing relationship. They were just two different type of plants. They were growing side by side, but they ended up competing for sunlight. And so one would grow, so the other would have to grow taller. The other would grow taller. The other would grow taller. And so they found themselves in this growing race. And the one that couldn't keep up, the one that couldn't grow the fastest, well, I'm sorry, it ended up dying. And so it's important for you to know if you do find yourself in this competitive relationship, you either need to win, be the strongest, or you need to move on. Okay. The strongest, the reason they survive is because if they can get the food, if they can get the water, the shelter, and the girl, then their DNA is going to be passed to their children, which are also going to be strongest. And that's just how it is in nature. Okay. Now, the second type of relationship that I see that you need to be very careful, you need to watch out for, is predation. Okay, if you find yourself in a predator-prey relationship, you need to get out. You need to get out quickly, and you need to protect yourself. Okay, get a restraining order. Get the police involved. Make sure you're protecting yourself from that predator. Predator-prey is very simple. A predator is going to eat its prey, just like here. I have my eagle and fish. So the eagle saw the fish swimming in the water one day and just swooped down, took it out. Okay, fish wasn't even expecting anything. And so for all those future fish in that community, they really need to be on high alert, protect themselves, and get a restraining order against the eagle. All right, another relationship I really hope you never find yourself in is parasitism. Okay, parasitism is when one of the organisms is just giving everything they have. They're very, very loving. And the other organism is just taking everything. They're not giving anything in return, and they're just draining the life out of the other person. It's very abusive. It doesn't necessarily have to be the very obvious abuse like the eagle and fish, but it could be very subtle. So for example, the vine and the tree. Okay. It starts off very innocent. The vine goes up to the tree and is like, hey, can I grow on your trunk? I really need some more sunlight. It would really help if I could kind of climb. And the tree's like, yeah, sure. No problem. I'm just standing here. I don't, that's totally cool. And so the vine grows up the tree and they're living very happily together for a while. But then the vine ends up stealing all of the nutrients from this tree. And the tree can't get any nutrients for itself. So the tree is just giving and giving and giving. It's giving this vine a place to live. It's giving its nutrients. And the vine is just taking. Eventually, the vine will suck the life out of this tree. Another one of my clients that found themselves in a parasitic relationship is the flea and the dog. And again, it started off very innocent. The flea just wanted a place to live. The dog said, yeah, sure, fine. I got plenty of fur. But what ended up happening is the flea started eating the skin of the dog. The dog got very irritated and itchy. And it ended up just being a very big irritant for the dog. Not really good at all. The dog needed to get out and needed to get out quickly. The next relationship I'm going to talk to you about is commensalism. Now, commensalism is not necessarily abusive. One organism is really benefiting from this relationship, and the other organism just doesn't care. It's not ideal. It's not something I would want for myself or any of my clients, because if you have one person that doesn't care, that means they're not really giving anything to the other organism. So one organism is just being very, very benefited, and the other one is just kind of meh. Okay. But one example of a commensalism relationship is the cow and the bird. Okay. The egret, to be exact. So when the cow walks around, it stirs up insects, and the egret can eat these insects. So it's a very great relationship for the egret. He just gets to hang around the cow and get all these insects, get all this food, and the cow just doesn't care. Okay, totally fine relationship in this case. Okay, totally good thing. But again, I really hope the ideal relationship that you will find yourself in eventually, I really hope is a mutualistic relationship. And mutualism is when both species benefit. So both are giving 100%. They're both very happy in this relationship. And this is what I really want for all of my clients. And so one of the best examples of mutualism is the lichen. Okay, the lichen is a mixture of fungus and algae. The fungus gives the algae moisture, which it needs to survive, and the algae does photosynthesis and therefore provides the fungus with nutrients. So it's a very great mutualistic relationship there. They're both very, very happy together. Now, another mutualistic relationship that I'll admit, when they first came into my office, I was like, oh my God, bird, you need to get out. You need to get out of this relationship. You need to get out fast. But I was pleasantly surprised. So as you see here, there's a bird in the mouth of this alligator. And again, when they first came into my office, I was like, oh my gosh, this is predator prey. You need to get out. You need to get a restraining order. But upon closer inspection, this bird is eating all of the parasites and bugs off of the alligator's teeth. And so the alligator allows this bird to come eat food. So the bird is happy because he's getting food. And then the alligator is happy because he's getting all these bugs removed, and he's basically saving on dental care. And so again, not something I expected at first, but it ends up being a very great mutualistic relationship. They're a very happy couple, and yeah, living very well together, still happy to this day. So anyway, these are the ecological relationships that I see most often. I hope you've enjoyed today. You can take something with you. I hope you never find yourself in a parasitic or predator-prey relationship. I really hope all my clients can enjoy that mutualistic relationship. Thank you very much.